All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode of your favorite political show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and properties. But as we speak, Nigerians are at the mercy of kidnappers, bandits, and killer headsmen. And we are not talking of rural areas now. We are talking of Nigerians living in major cities, including the Federal Capital Territory. Everywhere you go, it is from one kidnapping story to another, and the government clearly has no political will to stop this. We have seen DSS track ordinary Nigerians to their homes and getting them arrested because of things they posted on social media. The same organization tracked Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya, tracked David Hundeyin to Ghana, but they haven't been able to apprehend these Fulani kidnappers squeezing life out of innocent Nigerians, to the point that international communities are now beginning to speak about kidnapping in Nigeria. Kidnapping in Nigeria has now become an issue that is attracting global focus. And they are talking about how the government of the day has totally failed in its duty to protect Nigerians. Before I show you how this particular international organization described this despicable issue of kidnapping in Nigeria, let me quickly show you the Abuja situation. Look at how the papers reported it. Abuja, kidnappers kill 3 victims, increase ransom to 700 million naira. 3 out of 10 people kidnapped in an estate in Sagwari Layout, Dutse, Abuja, on January 7th have been reportedly killed by their abductors, media reports said. A 13-year-old high school student, identified as Folorunsho Ariyo, was reportedly among those killed. It was also gathered that the kidnappers also increased their demand of 60 million naira per person to 100 million, making it a total of 700 million naira. Residents of the estate said the victims were allegedly killed over the delay in raising the ransom money. When contacted, the FCT police spokesperson Josephine Ade told People's Gazette over the telephone that she could not give details about the incident. For security reasons, I can't speak on this, but we are on top of the situation, Ms. Ade said. Members of the public should remain calm. The gun-wielding men had stormed the estate at about 7:30 p.m. on the set date to kidnap residents. Plans to crowdfund the ransom demanded were a topic in Nigeria's social media space, with many harping on the optics of crowdfunding the money and the precedents it could set for future cases. Many Nigerians online have called out the government and the security agencies over their perceived inaction in the face of growing kidnap cases. Residents of Sagwari Layout have perfected plans to carry out a massive protest to register their discontent with the government and security agencies over the kidnap of their neighbors. The protest scheduled for Monday was shifted to Tuesday due to the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Nigerians planning to crowdfund to begin to gather money to go and pay kidnappers. That is the level it has come to. The government has totally failed. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. And this tweet by Akbar says, Nigeria is a big joke. Official DSS tracked Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya. But here in Abuja, they gave kidnappers free access to FCT residents. Shameful. And this guy responded by saying, it is the same DSS doing the kidnappings. This is a war. And you can't blame him. Because how can they tell us that they can't get these guys? And this tweet by DJ Dele says, imagine this happening in a country where we claim to have a government. Absolutely sad. Indeed, that is it. And this tweet by Honorable Olani says, Nigeria is gone. Can you argue with him? If people can be thinking of the abomination of gathering money to go and give criminals, what is left? Right in the FCT. This is the federal capital. And this tweet here says, Nigerians can now see that we must hold our commander-in-chief accountable. Crowdfunding is not the best solution. And this tweet here says, the failure of the government. Absolutely. That is what it is. And Oluwafemi here says, the most annoying thing is that official DSS and Police Nigeria can pick ordinary citizens up at the corner of their house, but fail to track down kidnappers. They attacked Sunday Igboho's house like James Bond. They tracked Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya. So sad. They can't do anything to kidnappers right under their noses. And this tweet here says, they killed and still increased price. What are the military doing? No war for over 65 years, yet they can't contain these bandits. That is it. All they do, all the military does is to be beating civilians, to come out during election and carry guns so that hooligans can snatch ballot boxes. But now, bandits are terrorizing Nigeria, killer headsmen, and they have not been able to stop them. What a shame. Now, let us look at how this international organization described kidnapping in Nigeria. Look at how the papers reported it. Kidnapping, now part of daily life in Nigeria. Citizens living on knife edge. Amnesty International. Amnesty International has lamented the spate of kidnap for ransom in Nigeria, saying it is now part of daily life and citizens are living on a knife edge. Rampant kidnapping by armed groups has become a part of daily life in Nigeria, said Amnesty International. People in Nigeria are living on a knife edge, it added. Widespread insecurity and chaos have been exacerbated by routine kidnapping as armed groups tighten their stranglehold on the country. The Human Rights Organization, in a series of tweets on Monday, said the number of citizens in kidnappers' captivity is unknown, lamenting the torture, rape, and starvation they suffer in the hands of their captors. The number of Nigerians in custody of armed groups and kidnappers is unknown, but the victim usually suffers shocking abuses. Several abducted women and girls, including school children, have been viciously raped while in captivity. Those kidnapped by armed groups are routinely tortured. Many are beaten, starved, threatened with death, raped, held blindfolded for several days, verbally and physically assaulted, Amnesty International said. Amnesty International's statement on rising cases of kidnappings in the country comes after some cases of kidnapping were reported. Bayo Ononuga, the spokesperson for President Bola Tinubu, said security agencies are working to tackle the menace, asking People's Gazette to speak with the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. Security agencies are trying their best to curb this problem, said Mr. Ononuga. The IGP, Kayode Egetokun, said they are on top of the situation, doing their utmost best to arrest all these kidnappings happening in several parts of Nigeria. But I think the best is to talk to the NSA, Nuhu Ribadu. On January 9th, bandits kidnapped Najibat, her 5 sisters, and her father in Buhari Local Government Council of Federal Capital Territory. The father was later released on January 12th to source for 60 million naira ransom for the girls, while Najiba was killed on Saturday as her father made efforts to raise the ransom to free them. Hey God. On Sunday, the Gazette reported how a former communications and digital economic minister, Issa Pantami, said one of his friends donated 50 million to complete the 60 million ransom demanded by kidnappers for the release of the 5 Najiba sisters. A former minister of communications and digital economy said his friend raised 50 million naira to complete the money they are gathering for kidnappers. APC has finished this country. To be very honest with you, on 2 different occasions, I had to stop to put myself together before I could read that article to the end. This is what people are going through just because of people that can be brought under control within days, but because of failure of government. And that is just the FCT. Look at another one. Bandits abduct 36 women, kill 3 in Zamfara community. This is how it is happening everywhere in Nigeria, especially in northern Nigeria. Why can't we just pity ourselves in this country? Why can't we just bring ourselves together and get these people out of government for God's sake? Because it is clear that they are working together with these people. How can they tell me that these people cannot be brought under control? Even if you were the one that went to bring them in as militias to come and fight the Jonathan government, at this point, how can you say you cannot rise up to fight them as a government? That is why, on my part, I won't keep talking. And I'm not just talking, I am also acting. We already know that what we need is to forcefully stop the APC from imposing themselves on Nigerians. And the strategy to make that happen is being worked on. This nonsense must not continue. Anyway, make I leave am here. The only way to restore this country back to what it used to be is to get the APC out of power. We used to have food. Now there is hunger everywhere. We used to have a good football team. Now we can't even beat Equatorial Guinea. We used to have peace. Now we live in fear for our lives. This must stop. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So, don't go away. Don't go away.